I'm reading an article about something that I discuss frequently on my channel, which is how we treat accommodations in the workplace for people who don't have families or children or somebody to care for. So, a subscriber on Reddit said something to the effect of they got an email and they had to cancel their vacation. And the email said, so we had a bit of an issue with your time off. So-and-so had to go in for surgery in the month of April, and she'll be out for 2 weeks and unable to get full strength for 6 weeks. And I have my surgery scheduled for May 10th. We need you to postpone your vacation. Please, when you get a chance, let's discuss how this will go. I got 2 problems with this email. I love the idea of helping a coworker who has a medical issue or a family leave issue. I really do. My problem is what happens when the tables are turned. And the person who was asked to take the time off, it doesn't say in this article. I'm gonna guess they are single and don't have children. Now, people who are single and don't have children have other human needs that need to be taken care of, right? So this email misses the boat on what happens when it's the other way around, right? It would be a really beautiful thing if the single person, you know, who has more flexibility with vacation time, allows these people to have surgery, and the next time the single guy wants to go out and meet somebody, maybe these people will postpone a wedding or something, right? It would be beautiful if it worked both ways, right? I wish I lived in a world like that, right? Unfortunately, I don't. The other issue I have with the email is the idea that we need you, right, to do this, right? I'm willing to bet there's multiple single people in the who was working on this department who could have postponed their vacation. It should have been a discussion, right? Not we need you to postpone, right? In an ideal world, I think I would have sat down to discuss this, but I'd be very unhappy if the email started with "we need you to." What I would probably do is, if there's any expenses that I cannot get refunded, I'd probably ask for reimbursement there. But more importantly, I would ask what happens when the tables are turned, right? A lot of times it doesn't go very well. So 2 years ago, go read about this. There was a lunar eclipse on the 4th of July in 2020. And I really wanted to go see that one because it was also Saturday. And one of my favorite songs as a kid growing up was Saturday in the Park by Chicago. And I was going to go to a park on a Saturday on the 4th of July and view a lunar eclipse and sing my own version of that song. And I did, but unfortunately, you got to remember what it was like in July of 2020. I continued to work remotely during that trip and ran into some problems. For starters, my car battery was acting up when I was plugging my computer in there. And you got to remember, in 2020, there wasn't much of, open to go to the bathroom. I was pooping on the side of the road, which is fine, except that I had to race to look for Wi-Fi. I learned that driving on the road looking for Wi-Fi is called war driving. It was popular years ago when a lot of people couldn't afford Wi-Fi, and it became popular again in 2020 when people had to work remotely while on the road, right? Anyway, so I did that, and I was okay with it. I was working at a tutoring center, and I just thought that it was part of our shared sacrifice, right? These kids are probably very lonely, and I didn't want to let them down with the only human connectivity they're going to have for a while, right? And that's fine, but unfortunately, a couple nights later, one of my coworkers had some kind of an emergency, and it wasn't even like she couldn't work. What happened was, I think her babysitter had contact with somebody with COVID-19, didn't want to show up to their home, and so her kids would be needed somebody to watch. I mean, come on, you can work in front of your computer with your kids, whatever the reason is. I ended up having to fill in for that. And I'm thinking to myself, gee, the other night when I was viewing a once-in-a-lifetime, I'll have to look up when's the next time there's going to be a lunar eclipse on the 4th of July on a Saturday. It's probably not going to be in my lifetime. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime event, and I end up having to poop on the side of the road just because nobody would fill in for me so I could go home. And I just remember thinking of just how imbalanced that was, right? Anyway, there's nothing wrong with a single person filling in for somebody who's married, has children, but I want people to see there's nothing wrong with the other direction as well. And then I'll be happy about it.